Hi and welcome to this video. Now in this video we'll try and pick one diversified fund. We'll follow a process. We have discussed the process. We would now actually implement it. We'll follow it and we'll try and choose and pick and select one fund which we expect can do well, right? So let's understand what that process is, right? So we are trying to choose a diversified fund, right? And we go on to value research. Now, if you remember any fund's name which is a diversified fund, which is a multi-cap fund, you can type in your the name of the fund here and then do a research on it. Let's say if nothing comes to your mind but you're looking for a diversified fund, what you can do is you can actually scroll down to the bottom where you have the fund performance of all the funds here, equity and debt. Now we look for a diversified fund or a multi-cap fund. So this is that fund, equity multi-cap. You get to see the kind of returns that it has delivered in long run. So we'll select multi-cap here, right? Now it would list out all the funds that are available as a diversified fund, as a multi-cap fund, right? Now the benefit of multi-cap fund is that fund manager is free to choose large, small or mid-cap companies. Right, depending on the time, depending on what the scenario is, he can actually move the investments from small to large or from large to mid. So he's actually given a free hand, right? So let's see, these are the funds that are available as of now, and it's quite a big list. Now we would want to filter few of them out, right? So we'll put some filter on it. Okay, so this is the fund details that we have got, and it's quite a big list. Now we want to filter this down. So what we want is we want the 15 largest fund houses. We only want the biggest names. We're looking for a multi-cap fund. So we want to exclude these. Not rated 1 star, 2 stars, 3 star. We don't want these funds, right? And we would now update this fund list. Now so we'll have funds which are highly rated. Now from here, let's say if you do not want Invesco, you can actually delete it. So if you don't want IDFC, you can actually delete it from the list. Now this list would then update, right? Now what we're looking to do here is this list is now quite small and we can make a selection easily now. So we go to returns, and here we're looking at the returns, right? Let's say if you're looking for a long-term return, we're looking for a 5-year return. Now you can click here and this would sort this list ascending or in a descending order. Now Kotak has been able to give the best return in this category. Then you have Franklin and you also have SBI, right? So we won't be chasing the highest return giver here. Let's just look at SBI focused equity fund. This is third from the top. Let's just look at it, how this fund has done. So SBI equity fund, it's a direct fund, and it was launched in January 2013, and since launch it has given 15% kind of a return. It has been able to beat the index, beat the the benchmark. It's a BSE 500 index. So in 5 years it has beaten the benchmark, 3 years it has beaten the benchmark, 1 year it has beaten the benchmark, which is excellent, right? So this fund manager actually is able to beat the benchmark. So our first criteria is met, that it's able to beat the benchmark. Now let's go and do a peer comparison. So even peer comparison, what we see is more or less it has given good performance, right? Now the recent 1 year performance has been quite brilliant, because last 1 year has been pretty bad for mid and small cap. However, large caps have done well. So I think what this fund manager must have done is he must have moved the major chunk of the capital to the large caps, and that's why he was able to deliver a better return, right? 5%, 10%. Only Franklin is able to outperform in the last 1 year, but this fund has also done pretty well. So the fund manager actually has done a good job, right? The expense ratio is 1.23, which is a bit on a higher side, but it's still comparable. Excess Focus 25 has the lowest one, but it has not delivered. Last 1 year return hasn't been great. So the fund manager wasn't really able to change the the portfolio, but that's okay. 1.23 isn't that bad. It's quite comparable. On an average, the expense ratio is 1, so it's 1.23, so slightly expensive. However, the fund manager was able to do a good job. So let's just learn about the fund manager as to what he's been up to. And this is the objective for long-term capital appreciation. If it matches with our objective, then we should go for this fund. Let's look at the fund manager as well. This fund manager, R. Srinivasan. So his vastly experienced. He's been managing since 2009. These are a few of the interviews. You can go through the interview just to understand the thinking of the man. And these are the funds that he's been looking at. So interestingly, he's also looking at a small cap fund as well. So let's see what kind of a return this fund has given. And also we need to check if he's handling this fund with some other fund manager, or is he alone in handling this. So yeah, he's managing on its own. He's the only fund manager here. And let's see the performance that he's been able to deliver. So it has beaten the benchmark quite handsomely. That's pretty good. That's pretty nice. So that's nice. And if we go and check the peer comparison, again has beaten the comparison hands down. And interestingly, last 1 year hasn't been good as far as small and mid caps are concerned. So when the benchmark in last 1 year has given a negative performance of 10%, he's able to deliver a positive performance. Most of the funds have given negative performance. Excess small cap has delivered great returns in last 1 year, but this fund manager was also able to manage it quite well, and it did not go into negative. So the fund manager is actually doing a great job, and I think the fund, in case we are looking for a diversified fund, this actually is a good investment, right? SBI focused equity fund has been able to do well, and if you want, you can also go through the interview just to understand the psychology of the man, and you have your experience and everything listed here. So all in all, it looks like a good fund. So we can filter this down, and there are some other related fund as well. We can do some research on them as well. And we don't have to dig too much. We don't have to go and look at the portfolio that he has, because in case if we are so expert in actually analyzing the portfolio, then we might as well have our own portfolio, right? So that we can actually leave on the fund manager, and he would actually decide which portfolio he needs to have, when does he want to sell it. We should not really be checking that, but from what we have seen, SBI focused equity fund is a great choice for an diversified fund. You can do some comparison by checking other funds as well, right? Do not go for the highest return. That might not be the best policy to have, right? So this way you can actually do a research on your own. You can also do a research on small and mid cap by doing the same analysis. So but from what we have seen, it's a great fund, and one can invest one's money in it.